Here's Tony with the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme 4-door.
When you talk Cutlass, the first thing to get straight is which Cutlass, because there are three distinctive body styles. Our test car was a Cutlass Supreme, as opposed to Cutlass Calais or Cutlass Sierra. This is the Cutlass that's related to other GM10 cars like the Chevy Lumina, Pontiac Grand Prix and Buick Regal. After being launched as a coupe, the Supreme is now available with 4 doors and holiday touring. GM's plan to make cars in its various divisions less similar, despite common basic features, is working well. Although this car is nearly identical to Chevrolet, Pontiac and Buick counterparts, it has its own character and individuality. Following GM's international theme I've talked about on this show before, the Supreme has lots of window glass, a sharp aerodynamic nose and a high roomy trunk. It's a good looker without any doubt, and owners will find it combines worthwhile sportiness with excellent family hauling capabilities. Standard power plant is a 3.1-litre V6, one of those GM engines that has won praise before on driver's seat. It develops 135 horsepower and combines decent refinement with excellent throttle response. Under 10 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour times should be within reach if off-the-mark performance is something you care about. The only transmission you can get with this engine is a 4-speed automatic, and that's the way most people would buy it anyway. Fuel economy isn't bad considering this car's fairly hefty V6, and Transport Canada figures indicate around 9.7 litres per 100 kilometres for city and highway driving. For quite a large car, it handles pretty well, helped by all-around independent suspension. It stops okay too, with disc brakes on all 4 wheels, and the front pair vented to enhance performance. Other mechanical attributes include power-assisted rack and pinion steering, which provided quite good feel without being overly light. The cabin is as big as you'll find in this class, and it's also pleasantly light and airy. There's lots of headroom front and back, and the car is easy to get in and out of. I'm never that happy in this class of North American car, probably because I've been spoiled over the years by spending too much time in BMWs and Volvos. Having said that, I must say the Cutlass really grew on me while I had it, and I can see why so many have been sold. For a change, there's lots of useful stowage, including very handy net pockets in the seat backs. This lack of oddment space long been a subject of complaint with GM models, but at last the message has hit home. Instrumentation is a fascinating blend of digital and analog. The dials might look like they have proper needles flickering up and down, but the entire panel is formed by a CRT screen of some kind. Actually, it works quite well, and the tachometer needle response seems better than you normally get with digital colored bands. Our test car was an upmarket version with a wide range of power conveniences, including those annoying door locks which do not operate as they should with key. It's also time GM got rid of its fiddly 2-key system. To make things even worse, the keys have to be inserted right way up. But from an overall standpoint, this is a car that's quite nice to live with. It promises better than average reliability and long life too, and isn't expensive at around $20,000. If the Cutlass is on your shopping list, you should also look at its Chevrolet, Pontiac and Buick mechanical clones. There's also Chrysler's Acclaim and Spirit models and the Eagle Premier to check out. Hyundai has its V6 Sonata in the showrooms now, and Ford will be happy to sell you a Taurus or Sable. After that, there's a host of Japanese rivals, from the Toyota Camry to the Honda Accord. And I think this stands up very well with the Accord and Camry.
I got no serious problems with this car. I don't like it 100%, but mainly I like it. One thing I don't like about it is that luggage rack. That is absolutely pointless. I have to disagree with you strongly about the handling. I think the handling in this car is bad. I like the seats, very comfortable seats, but I've had a real problem with those seat belts. I found that the way they were situated, they chafed across my neck, but I couldn't adjust them any way at all. And the instrumentation is a joke. I mean, it's typical General Motors. It should be either one or the other, but not a combination of both. But as I say, no real serious objections to the car, really.
Well, when I judge the handling of a car like this, of course, I try to judge it on what the market would expect from it. People buying that kind of car, you know, family people, and I don't try to compare it with a, with a BMW 3 Series or something like that.
I'm not either. But if you compare it even with a Hyundai Sonata, it's a little more contrived than a Sonata. And I mean, as I say, I don't hate it or anything, but I look at it and I say, well, what is the point of some of this stuff? I mean, if you didn't, you could knock probably $5 grand off with some of the stuff they have on there. You don't need all that stuff.
Well,
really.
You can. I mean, you can get an entry-level model which is much cheaper than this, but it still stands out well, several $1,000s less than a similarly equipped Honda Accord. The seat belts, yes, I agree with that. That's a very bad point. And I think they got kind of tricky with this door-mounted seat belt system, and it just doesn't work too well.
Well, I do like the fact that they're mounted in the doors. Well, actually, let me modify it. It's better for a two-door because it makes getting into the back seat better. For a four-door, one way or the other. One good thing, four-wheel disc brakes. Even the Accord doesn't have that.
That's right, yeah. It has four-wheel disc. The stopping power, I think you might have noticed, was pretty good. It stopped very well.
Not bad. Better.
A bit of dive, maybe. Yeah. Usually, on cars like this from North American manufacturers, they tend to react to the public's demand for a very soft ride, which is probably a bit old-fashioned. It doesn't need to be that soft.
Of course, the big question that I have about this car is what took them so long to bring out a four-door? I mean, the two-door was out, what, at least 2 years ago, maybe even more, and the four-door will outsell it probably 50% to 1.
Well, I don't know. You have to remember there's other models in the range that do have four doors in the Cutlass range. Okay, let's sum up here. Things we didn't like about the car. Handling. At least Ted thought it was rather mushy. Neither of us liked the C2 key system. On the plus side, the engine was very, very good, and transmission too. Instrumentation, well, I liked it, Ted didn't. Interior room, couldn't fault that.
We'll be right back, and we're going to